Adjectives of comparison. When we are comparing adjectives, we use 3 degrees of comparison. They are positive, comparative, and the superlative degrees. The positive degree is used when we are speaking about one thing or person, and it is not compared to anything else. So our example, the mouse is a small animal. So this is our example of a positive degree. This mouse is not being compared to any other animal. So we're just saying that this mouse is a small animal. Likewise, this example, Mark is a handsome man. Mark is not being compared to any other person. Now, the comparative degree is used when we are comparing two things or persons. The ending ER is added, or in some cases, the words more or less are added before some adjectives. Let's look at our examples. So here we have our positive degree again. The mouse is small. Now here we have another animal, the bird, now being compared with the mouse. So now we have two animals. And we have our sentence, the bird is smaller than the mouse. So here we have our ER added to that adjective small to show the comparative degree that we are comparing two things, two animals. And we usually use the word than after our comparative degree of adjective. So we have smaller than. Coming back to our sentence with Mark, Mark is handsome. Now here we have Terry is more handsome than Mark. Now here we have two persons being compared, and here we see that word more used with the word handsome, and we also have that than being used when we're comparing two. So Terry is more handsome than Mark, our comparative. Now the superlative degree is used when we are comparing more than two things or persons. The ending est is added, or in some cases the words most or least are added before some adjectives. So let's go to our examples. So here we have, going back to our mouse and our bird, now we have another animal. So now we're comparing more than two animals, we're comparing three. So our last sentence, the ant is the smallest of them all. So here we have our est at the end of our adjective to form the superlative form of the adjective, and we have that the before that superlative degree. We usually add the before our superlative degree. So again, the ant is the smallest of them all. Still in our superlative degree, here we have Gary. So now we're comparing three persons, and Gary is the most handsome. So here we have most being our superlative form of the word added with handsome. So Gary is the, and we have our the with our superlative form. So Gary is the most handsome. Now let's look at our comparing adjective rules to remember how to use our positive, comparative, and superlative adjectives. Our first one, the ending ER is added to form the comparative degree, and the ending est to form the superlative degree of a one-syllable word. Now let's look at an example of using er and est with our one-syllable word. Here's our one-syllable adjective, smart. He is smart. That's a positive degree. Now let's look at our comparative. He is smarter than. So here we have that er, and then we have our than, because we're comparing two. He is smarter than his brother. Let's move on to the superlative form. He is, here we have our the, and smartest, our est ending, of the three brothers. More than two persons are being compared, so we have our superlative degree with est. He is the smartest of the three brothers. So one syllable words, we add our er for comparative degree, and we add our est for our superlative degree. Now our next rule, the ending er is added to form the comparative degree, and the ending est to form the superlative degree if the word has one syllable. Now that is a word with one vowel and ends with one consonant, and you know we always double the final consonant, so we have to double that final consonant before we add our endings er or est. Let's look at our example. So our positive, the ball is big. Our comparative, this ball is bigger than that ball. So here we see our one syllable word where we have our one vowel, and then we have our consonant where we double that consonant before we add our er to form our comparative degree, and then we have our than. So this ball is bigger than that ball. Now let's go to our superlative where we're comparing more than one balls. This ball is the, so here we have our the, biggest ball in the bag. Again, because of that one vowel and that one consonant, we double that consonant and add est for our superlative degree. So this ball is the biggest ball in the bag. Another rule. Now, two syllable words ending with y. Change the y to I before adding er or est to form the comparative or superlative degree. So let's have an example. So here we have our positive. Tina is heavy. Comparative. Tina is heavier than her friend Megan. So Tina is being compared with Megan, two persons. So here we have our y replaced with I, and then we add our er in our comparative. Superlative, Tina is the heaviest girl in the class. So here we have where we're comparing more than two persons. So again, that y is replaced with I, and then we add our est to form our superlative degree. And note our the at the beginning of that word, heaviest. Next rule, the words more or less are added before the adjective to form the comparative degree, and the words most or least are added before the adjective to form the superlative degree to words that have more than two syllables. So words with more than two syllables, we use more or less for the comparative degree, or for the superlative degree we use most or least. our examples. The yellow dress is beautiful. Beautiful is a 3-syllable word. That's the positive. Now let's go to our comparative degree. The yellow dress is more beautiful than the blue dress. So here we have our more being used, now comparative. And our superlative, the yellow dress is the most beautiful dress in the store. So most, our superlative degree. Now here we have a table showing you the irregular adjectives and how the comparative and superlative form. So we have a word good, comparative better, superlative best. Bad, comparative worse, superlative worst. Little, comparative less, superlative least. Word many, comparative more, superlative most. Our word much, comparative more, superlative most. Let's look at far. Comparative would be farther, superlative further. And our irregular adjective old, older, or we say elder, superlative oldest, old or eldest. So those are some irregular adjectives, and you see how the comparatives and superlatives are formed. Now let's do a practice activity, and let's complete the sentences by putting in the correct form of the adjectives in brackets. So here we have, my brother is a lazy boy. And we're using that word lazy in brackets. And in our next sentence, she is and we have talented girl on the team. Now my brother is, and my brother isn't being compared to anyone else, so we use that word lazy remains. Now she is and we have the word talented girl on the team. Now what will we put? And we're comparing that girl with the rest of girls on the team. So superlative, are we going to say talentedest or most talented? Most talented. Talented here is more than 2 syllables, right? Talented. Let's go to 3. Christmas is and we have happy time of the year. So let's get our answer. Christmas is the happiest time of the year, comparing that time with all the other times. The window is new, the door. Comparing window and door, here we have newer than. So window is newer than the door. And here we have our than accompanying our comparative. Number 5. He had, and we have the word much, fruits in this bowl than his brother. And here we have more. He had more fruits in this bowl than his brother. Number 6. The bulb is bright, that bulb. 2 bulbs being compared. The bulb is brighter than that bulb. This bulb is brighter than. So here we have our than accompanying our comparative. Jeremy is and we have popular student in the class. Because he's been compared with everyone else, Jeremy is the most popular. So here we have our most with our multi-syllable word popular. And 8, Jenny picked and we have the word red, of the 2 apples that were on the table. So with 2 apples, we have that word red. And here we have a one syllable word with our one vowel and our one final consonant. So here we have redder. Jenny picked the redder of the two apples that were on the table.